Hello and welcome along to part 18 of this Dark Souls guide and playthrough. So today we're going to make our way through the Anor Londo Cathedral. Not going to take on the area boss today, just make our way through, pick up a few items and make our way back to the bonfire. So take out this Silver Knight first. These guys are a wee bit more difficult to handle in my opinion. I always find the spear wielding Silver Knights more difficult to predict in terms of parrying. Anyway, pick up the Sunlight Meadows. You can use them to increase your rank in the Warrior of Sunlight Covenant. That's something we'll encounter later on, and it's got a connection with Solaire. Come to one of the sword wielding Silver Knights. I always prefer parrying these guys, just find it easier, and with the Crystal Halberd, you one-shot them. You can don't be afraid to parry them. They're not going to one-shot you. This room's interesting. There's wee clues here and there about Ornstein and Smo's business, and I don't know. I think these might be bones. Other people contend that they're scrolls or parchment, but we find out later on that Smo likes to ground up the bones of his victims, and I don't know, I just think in Smo and Ornstein reside in this building, so I don't know, I just think that might be a clue, or it might be bones. Anyway, this is a mimic, you can tell that obviously by looking at the coiled chain coming forward. So take him out first. Just be careful, don't let them grab you. Remember, the grab attack is deadly, and once they've got you in the grab attack, they can kill you quite easily. But they're not really difficult. They do have a decent amount of health. That's an important weapon, the Occult Club. Remember, occult weapons do increase damage to the gods and their servants, so anybody in here or in Anor Londo, like the Silver Knights for example. But it's more important for an area we're going to go to later on, and a blacksmith we're going to meet later on. You're going to hold on to that weapon and change it into a divine club. But we'll talk about that later. So don't throw away that weapon. Keep it. It's important for the catacombs or catacombs. We pick up Havel's set and his weapon, the Dragon Tooth. It's one of the heaviest sets in the game. Provides massive amounts of defense. You can't upgrade it. Provides a lot of elemental defense as well, but it's too heavy to be practical in my opinion. You can use it if you want to be a tank in PvP. Anyway, come on up here. The Dragon Tooth's an interesting weapon. Again, it's extremely heavy, and I think you need something like 40 or 46 strength to wield it. I think it has some magical properties as well. It's not a weapon I use very often, but if you're interested in finding out, you can go to the wiki, and I suggest Wiki.dot as the best of the Dark Souls guides. So again, the chain is coiled forward, but we'll come back and deal with him in a minute, because it's a mimic. This room here provides another clue in my opinion. This is Ornstein, is known as Dragon Slayer Ornstein. And what do we have here? Well, we have dragons mounted in the wall as trophies. So I think that all these wee subtle clues point towards this building being the residence of Ornstein and Smo. And again, we come to one of these. I mean, I do terribly there. I just find them difficult to predict whether when they're going to get the. I don't anticipate them well. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. And the fact that they can have that kind of quick combo move with the spear means that they can not one-shot you, but they can take you out quite quickly. You can see that there's a Prowling Demon down there. Don't forget to pick up that Soul of a Hero. That Soul of a Hero gives you 10,000 souls. The Prowling Demon, that's quite a tight space to fight him in. We will eventually take him out, because you get a decent amount of souls from it and you get Demon Titanite. But we'll wait till later. So take this mimic out. There you go, you can see that's the grab attack, and now I'm dead. It's quite a gruesome attack. and he certainly got his a decent meal out of it. Anyway, come straight back here. Not let him get me this time. He has like, he must have like 1 health, but anyway, take him out and you'll get a silver coin as a reward, 5 of them. The only thing they're useful for is trading with Framped, and you'll get souls for them. So we've got another one over here. Certainly like that grab attack. My favourite attack is the kick one that they do. It's, don't know, it's quite comical looking. They're certainly quite gruesome, frightening looking creatures. I'm not sure what the lore is behind mimics. Anyway, get a gold coin and that gets you a good amount of souls. This door won't open from that side. This door will. Come through there in a minute. Take this guy out first. This is another one of these Silver Knight archers. Thankfully we're not having to run up a perilous incline to get to him. This one will be a bit easier to deal with. So you can, if you don't, that shield bash, as you can see, it takes out most of my stamina. I think that's what makes these knights most dangerous of all, is the fact that they can deplete your stamina with their shield in like 1 hit. And then you're kind of staggered or stuck, or you can't defend or attack. But you eventually get used to fighting them, and they're not as difficult in my opinion as the Black Knights. The Black Knights I think are a bit slower. If you were quick there, you might have noticed that there was a familiar character that we ran up, we met in Sen's Fortress. Anyway, come into this room. We're in one of the royal bedrooms with interesting paintings on the wall. There's a Silver Knight waiting in ambush behind there. You can see his sword protruding forward. I take it that's Guinevere or one of Lord Gwyn's children. That might be Lord Gwyn, that painting up on the wall for all I know. Reminds me of a Russian Tsar, or a Russian priest. So we'll take this guy on in here. The rugs are absolutely magnificent. Get a parry in. So if you don't succeed with your parry, you can get a thing called a partial parry, and you don't lose as much health, even though you've not actually carried out a proper parry. You're not going to lose as much health as it would be if they hit you directly. Okay, so we're down to 2 Estus flasks at this point. I don't want to go back to the bonfire, I want to go forward. I decide to put my Ring of Steel protection on just to give me a wee bit more defence. I'm lucky there I get the parry off straight away, so I don't need to use an Estus flask. Dragon Slayer arrows, we will be able to pick their bow up later, the Dragon Slayer bow. And if you like the Silver Knight armour set, you can actually pick it up in Anor Londo, and we'll do that before the end of this episode. It's a nice looking set. It's a decent set as well, but it's not one I use in any of my playthroughs. So I'm noticing now that we've got 14 out of 20 durability on the Crystal Halberd. I decide I don't want the durability to go down much more, and also I'm kind of getting a bit bored of using it at this point. So I decide to switch over to the Black Knight sword. So come down here first. And there we go, we meet Siegmeyer.
Whatever can be done.
Whatever can be done indeed.
You again. Let me guess. Were you repelled by the Silver Knights? Don't be ashamed. 'Tis the fate of vanguards like you and I.
Well, I'm a vanguard perhaps, but I don't know about you.
We can overcome this together.
He's such a strange character, Siegmeyer.
This is quite a fix. We'll need another 3, no, maybe 5 bodies. Quite a fix indeed.
He struggles against every obstacle he comes up against.
This is quite a
So he couldn't get into Sen's Fortress. He was stuck in Sen's Fortress he couldn't get past the boulders. They presented an intractable problem for him. And he's not a coward, I wouldn't say he's a coward, but because he keeps going forward. Anyway, take these guys on, don't go into the room, there's 3 Silver Knights in there, draw them out. You can run into a wee bit of a problem here because you don't want these Silver Knights to aggro Siegmeyer. You don't want them to accidentally hit him, and you don't want to accidentally hit him because that just causes major problems. So if you want, you can drag them all the way up to the roof. But once you take the first one out, you can fight this one over in this corner of the room, and then you can fight the third one. You've got the rest of the room to fight the third one. So that's the way I would suggest doing it. Take the first one out into the wee hall, and if you don't feel comfortable doing that, take him up to the roof. Fight the second one over in this corner of the room, and fight the third one. You've got the rest of the room to fight this guy. So there's an interesting painting in here, and some people have speculated, or I've read speculation, that the painting, that one there, that I just kind of glanced away from, is maybe Dran Lake from Dark Souls 2. That one.
Oh ho! What's on your mind, friend? Wait. You defeated those monsters? Fantastic! I'm saved! This Knight of Catarina hereby commends you. Take this as a token of my gratitude.
So the Tiny Beans ring is
Warned. Gallantry entails great risks. Next time, give me a chance to come up with a plan.
I think he's starting to feel a bit embarrassed about his inability to take on the obstacles. The thing that interests me is, about Siegmeyer is, like I say, I don't believe he's like an out and out coward. He keeps going forward. Anyway, let me talk about the Tiny Beans ring. I always get sidetracked on it when I'm talking. The Tiny Beans ring, that painting to the right's interesting. The Tiny Beans ring, I believe in the character creation page it says that it restores some of your health over time. So it restores some of your health points over time. That's not true actually, that's false. And it just basically gives you a small bump in your health. It's not good enough to be an advantage. So it's just a ring I would stick in your bottomless box. Anyway, come back this way. You need to go this way to get to the Prowling Demon, and also this way takes you to the main hall in Anor Londo. The main hall is straight on, we're not going to go there right away. And we're not going to take on the Prowling Demon in this episode, we'll take him on the next episode. But this is the way back to the bonfire, and I would suggest coming this way because you want to open a door down below here. The door that's opposite the room with the bones or the scrolls or the parchments that takes you down to Havelset. You want to open that door because it gives you a shortcut. Anyway, take the Silver Knight out. Gives you a shortcut between here, basically, the main hall and the bonfire. But there's another way we can get there, I'll show you that in the next episode. It requires a wee bit of jumping. Yeah, I need to practice my parries against these guys because I'm just crap at it, basically. That was good. You can pick the Silver Knight spear up later on in the game, or you can get it as a drop. And it's a good spear. Very good spear. So open this door before you go and fight the other guy in the room. Open that door first of all, because that gives you the shortcut back to the bonfire, and if you die taking this guy on, you don't have to go all the way around again. I think I've only got a parry off once or twice in these guys in this episode. The first guy, was it, that we came up against? Can't even get a backstab in. So basically he's guarding the Silver Knight set, the armor set. So you don't have to take him on, it's totally optional. If you don't want the Silver Knight set, don't bother taking him on. You'll miss out on 1,000 souls and a set that you can give to Frampt if you don't want it as well. Again, more evidence of the trophies from Dragon Slayer Ornstein's campaign against the dragons. it's quite a short episode this today. In the next episode, it'll be more involved, more in depth. Some interesting lore there about how Lord Gwyn's separated his rank of knights. One set became the Black Knights, and another set became the Silver Knights, who were told to guard Anor Londo. Anyway, in the next episode, loads of stuff to do, area boss, NPC, and a mission of revenge. Hope this episode helped.